Hello, friends. We're going to explore a scenario today that maybe some of you are in. I recently found myself in, and what I am thinking about how to approach it anyway. So, let's say, hypothetically, that you have one or two Ethereum and you're watching Ethereum go down, and you don't want to get all the way out and then watch it go to the moon because that's always how it happens, right? And you don't want to stay in and watch it go to the Earth's core or whatever the opposite of the moon is, right? Zero, basically. So you're thinking, how can I hedge this and sort of navigate this situation and come out with more than I have right now? So that's what we're going to talk about. First thing I want to introduce you to, if you don't know about it already, go to CoinMarketCap. There is an asset called PAX Gold. And if you go to About, it will take you to the website, which, it's over here on the computer. I'm so used to doing this on my phone. All right. Right. And PAX Gold, Paxos, is positioning itself as the safest way to own investment grade gold. Okay. So it's got the contract address. You guys can go check the stuff out on your own. I'm not going to go down the PAX Gold rabbit hole right now. What it is it's pinned to the price of gold, but it's on chain, Ethereum specifically. It's on the Ethereum network. So you go over here and you get the contract address, which here it is. Okay. Copy it to your clipboard, and then you would go into your Coinbase, essentially, and then you would set a limit order, right? So what you want to do is, if let's say you got out of ETH right at 3,000, you saw this little a little move right here, and you said, you know what, enough's enough. I think this thing's breaking down out of this here. This little bear flag it was making right here. You see it break down. You're like, enough is enough. It like wicked up a little bit, and you said, is this sounding too specific to be improvised? And you said, you know what, I'm gonna step aside for a minute here. And you put it all into USD, and you have since watched Ethereum drop about 10%. I think it's 11.4 if we're gonna be splitting hairs. But anyway, so now ETH is worth less than it was when you sold it. So step one of mission accomplished, right? And let me get this thing out of here. Okay, so the next thing you're looking for is looking for the gold chart. All right, so PAX Gold, if you do PAXG USD, that would be the one. Pretty much the same chart, right? And apparently I charted this many moons ago. So I always, when I do this kind of stuff, I always just like to chart the underlying asset. Yeah, it works better for me, makes more sense for me. But anyway, oh, look, we got a little gap fill right there. And it has not quite filled yet. So 46.43, excuse me, had a big pho earlier. So 46.43 is one of the levels we're looking for. So I actually set one limit order for 47.10, I think. Let me take a look. Yeah, to buy 0.3. So let's say I wanted to do half and half, and I'm not sure that PAX Gold is going to dip all the way as deep of a dip as I want. So I set one limit order for 47.10 and a second limit order for 45.60. And while those are dipping now, gold is obviously, it's going to bounce back every time one of these dips happen. It bounces pretty quickly. At the current state of affairs in the world, this is my personal feeling, guys. I don't anticipate gold just coming all the way back down to 3,500 or even 4,500 yet. I mean, I've got the order set there, and it's kind of wishful thinking if it manages to get back to the 786. But anyway, that's that. So then what I would do, let's just say in a perfect world, the price comes down, I get both gold purchases. At that point, all right, so there's buy level 1 and buy level 2. Now, let's just say you're holding both of these, okay? As you guys know, I've been pretty vocal about Ethereum coming back and hitting this 786 fib level. That's roughly at 2150 right here. So let's say I get what I want, and I've bought. I should really open a different tab. Tell you what, let's do this. Oh, whoops. There. All right. So let's say I got what I want. My buy 1 and buy 2 orders have both hit. Now, gold is still down here at 45.50. It just hung around at my second buy level. Now, ETH, let's imagine that I get, and this is pie in the sky, guys, but I'm really, if you have things in mind that you would like to happen, it helps so much to plan and set these orders ahead of time so that it removes the emotion from it. I have a thesis that Ethereum's going to 2150. I have a thesis that gold will hold tight and gain a little bit of ground back. And if those two play out, the rest will do the work for me. I don't have to. That's part of the reason you see on X, there will be some clickbait thing about people who have a Polymarket account and they coded some bot. And this emotionless robot has been arbitrage trading these boring little transactions amidst the minutia of daily life for 3 to 6 months and has turned $300 into $476,000, right? It's because the more you can remove emotion from these types of situations, and I'm going to make a video called The Trader's Trap coming up that talks about all of this, the more emotion you can remove, the better off you'll be as a trader. The less you'll, lose your ass, things of that nature. So let's also say that I get what I want, and ETH, whoops, there. It goes straight down to 2150. Okay. Now I've got all my gold, and ETH is at 2150. Even if gold is still at 4550, I still have the $3,000 worth of buying power from when I originally sold the ETH, if that makes sense. And I'll probably make like a companion video to this where I show the math and charts, and I'll have tables and everything. So this will really make sense. I know it's hard when you just hear stuff. I will do that. Let's say gold recovers to 49.60. Okay. So gold would be there. 49.60. That means I would have 32.70 worth of buying power, and I'd be able to get 1.52 ETH, swapping from PAX Gold, which again is on the Ethereum network, back into ETH USD on, let's say a centralized exchange or CEX or SEX like Coinbase. I'd essentially turn one ETH into an ETH and a half. And let's say, that's a 52% increase. Let's say best case scenario, I got hit both my gold buy orders. Gold comes back up to 5,400. ETH, right here, okay, ETH comes down and hits a 786 fib level, just like I think, with gold up at 5,400 and ETH at the 786 fib. If I swap my PAX Gold for ETH at that moment, I end up with 1.65 ETH and a 65% gain. So 65% gain is more than most traders would ever ask for. You know, we've gotten so spoiled. Anybody who bought Ethereum back in the day, you know, was around for 2016 and all that stuff when Cardano was 2 cents, you know, or Ethereum was $2. You got spoiled because you could throw $20 in there and watch it turn into 1,000 or 400 or something like that. But in, let's call it the real world, you know, you're doing good to get 10, 20, 25% a year is like you're outperforming elite hedge funds. So anyway, with that said, if you were to get both these buy orders to trigger, and then gold recovered to 5,400, and then your ETH also made it down to 2150, and you had a limit order to swap PAX Gold for ETH at that very moment. I can't snap for whatever reason right now. Anyway, at that very moment, bam, you have made a 65% gain. So you can do these little things. When you see these chart setups, you can see this coming, and you can be, if you can be right over half the time, like even 55% of the time, and you can make a tiny little profit here and a tiny little profit there, it makes a hell of a difference over the course of your life. So guys, that's what's on my mind today. I thought I would share that. I'll make something a little more visual on the heels of this video. But guys, like and subscribe if you got value from this. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you on the next one.